Welcome back to War Thunder and welcome aboard the Attacker FB1 here in realistic battles. And I think this battle is worth showing for numerous reasons. It's not a double A super carry, ultra gameplay. It's a bit above average, let's put it that way. And I want to go into chats. I could make it myself hard or not so hard. And to jump into 8.0 chats is, from what I experienced when I fly them out, not really nice. I personally get constantly up-tiered and I really don't like to fly in 8.0 stock jets versus fully upgraded MiG-17s, MiG-15 Bisses or fully upgraded Sabres. It's just not really fun because they don't go for their opponent, for their opposing battle rating counterpart. Like a Sabre doesn't go after the MiG-15 at first if there is, a MiG-9 Bis or something lower. Okay, so you are always food if you go into 8.0. That's my experience. I have to further test it out, but I thought to myself, let's make it easy in the beginning. Let's begin with British jets. Yeah, so I already made a video about the Meteor F Mk, and the stats are the following: 30 games played in realistic, 20 times I died, and 43 kills with additional, ground targets. The other one, the Attacker FB1, well, I played it a bit more. 47 games, 31 deaths, so not so good, but 56 kills. So it's not that bad. And, I don't want to go for overall a good kill to death ratio. And, there are further limitations to a good kill to death ratio in this sort of chats. And I think it's the matchmaking. You do have just 7 versus 7, 8 versus 8, something like this. And there are not as many potential kills in the air as, for example, when you have to play a prop. Normal prop matches are more. I think 16 versus 16. So you have potential. You have more potential of highest kill score. Just to make this clear. Then let's talk about a little comparison of the Attacker FB1 and the Meteor F Mk. And that is, I think, the difference in performance between the both of them is, feelable. Especially for somebody that doesn't have that much experience in jets like me. So I wanted to talk a little bit about it. I really like the Meteor F Mk. It behaves more like a prop. Alright, so its overall performance is like the American heavy fighter, in a very rough estimation, the F7F, both the F7F1 and the F7F3. They behave a bit more like jets than they are props in terms of top speed and energy retention. So again, back to the Meteor F Mk. It is good in acceleration, but not as good as a Griffin Spitfire, for example. But it also has a limited top speed of around about 830, 850, and then you rip. At least that's what I do. I just rip my wings because of overspeeding. Then it turns like nothing else. And then it has 420mm in the nose with 780 rounds between them. The Attacker also has 420s, but with a little bit lower ammunition count of just 624. And those are, as well, like with the Meteors, the fast-firing Hispano Mark 5s. They are very good cannons, but I have a problem with them. Why? Well, you run through the ammunition very fast, and I mostly overlead. I'm just not used to such high-velocity weapons. Yes, I mostly fly Germans. I know. Slow velocity, yeah. But, I try my best. And then sometimes you don't do the damage that you expect with all the amounts of hits. Is it down to bad ping? Is it down to, irregular ping? All those arguments, At the end of the day, I want results like that. That was, I guess, acceptable. Yes, I shot a bit wild, my aim was a little bit off, but I didn't waste too much ammunition. And then we see this Horton 229 in a flat spin. I don't know how he got into that, and that was a risky shot and a pilot snipe. And behind me is another Me262. So I think, yeah, the guns work. And funnily enough, the attacker fills the opposite role of the Meteor. Like this dualism between that you have in many countries' aircraft. For example, for the Germans, you have the Bf-109s. They are more energy fighters and are a bit more maneuverable when you purely talk about the elevator than the Focke-Wulfs, which have overall more boom and zoom quality and mostly, at least early on, a better punch in terms of weapon armament. And then you can talk about the gun pods, but you know what I'm talking about. Nice hit here on the Me262, and I avoid a Horton. That was lucky. I saw him coming, but I took my chances. And now I have a problem. I'm more or less in a scissor fight with a Me262, rolling scissors, and behind me is a Horton. Oh boy, that's gonna be fun. The Horton is one of those vehicles that I highly respect for its top speed and also its firepower, but it has difficulties if you roll against it. That I know from flying it myself. So you can come close to it and trick it. And yeah, the camera. The camera in chat fight, I noticed, is weird. I turn into this Me262, but I know how Germans behave, so I just pull up. Still, he gets a strike into him because I didn't time it right, but thank the gods for the low damage output of high caliber guns. And now the Horton is again near me, and the Me262 is also behind me. So what can I do? Well, I run. The attacker has a really great acceleration actually for the battle rating it has. It's not outstanding, but still, I think you can escape Hortons. Yes. Now the question is here, I'm not that experienced. Is this guy stock? You know, is his engine damaged already? Or did he forget to retract his air brakes? I don't know, but I pull away, and I pull in the direction of my airfield. And this Me262 that I shot earlier is now in a stall against the MiG-9. Yeah, that's not gonna end well for him. Now I damaged him quite a bit, and I think he's on a flat spin. Look at him go. Yes. So again, the short comparison between the Meteor Mark III and the attacker. The attacker is less maneuverable, has wing-mounted 20mm guns with not as much ammunition, but it has good acceleration, good energy retention, decent climb rate, good zoom climb capabilities, and a much better top speed. How high it is exactly? Well, you approach around about 900. I did not test it out too much, but you know, you actually get it. And now I have to chase down the Horton, so the situation is reversed. Now, even if I would not have gone into the direction of my airfield, he should have given up earlier. And you know, I have already 3 kills in the bags and 300 rounds left. So I actually took care of my ammunition. I didn't spray wildly around. This is the danger of the Hispanos. Wonderful weapons. Actually not that few rounds, but you have to take care of... you must not spread too much, basically. You must not spray too much. Nice hit here into the engine of the Horton, and that is something that chats really don't like if you hit their engines, because they actually within seconds lose a lot of performance, and that is the death of a chat if we can't accelerate anymore. And that is also a problem with lower tier chats when they're stocked in the first place. They have really difficult performance, especially when then they go up against the high-end props, such as Griffin Spitfires, Bearcats, F7F. Those, or a lot of the Japanese high-tier planes, therefore, because they have brutal acceleration, they have monstrous weapons, and they just have nice handling. They are just refined planes of a concept that has proven itself so far. The early jets are problematic to fly for a beginner, and I think this is then also the unforgivingness of the American jets, in my opinion. They have great top speed. Yes, P-80, F-80, F-84, those are jets that can perform well, but they are highly punishing if you don't get the killing blow. And I will cover them as well. And yeah, that's it for me today in this battle. The battle was actually not that long in duration, but we got 4 kills, and that's a nice result. Now let's have a quick look at the post-battle results. Actually, in this battle there was not enough time to go through all the points that I want mentioned, but I guess you saw the basic ones. I got nearly 80,000 silver lines and over 6,200 research points, and this is something that I like, the income for chats. You see progress, much more so than you see in top tier tanks, at least in my opinion. So that was a really nice battle without boosters, and for the statistics, 2,756 score points for 4 kills, and yeah, there were not a lot of people in the queue. What was it, 7, 8 planes? I don't know. Before we end the video, I just want to ask you, what are your experiences with the early chats? Do you remember your first chat? Do you remember the spading way? When did you actually get your first chat, and how did you get it? Did you train with it, or did you then just research all other chats with the premium plans or with normal plans like I did, and then try to go into high tier chat combat? Or did you just learn it by doing, or where did you get your your informations how to do it? Did you watch YouTube? Did you read any blog? Did you go on the forums? What did you do? I'm highly interested in that. And that's then finally it for me today. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give this video a like if it did, it helps me out greatly. Subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other in the skies of War Thunder.